Hey friends, today we're going to be checking out the SwitchBot Mini Robot Vacuum. This is the K10 Plus, and this is by far the smallest smart vacuum I've ever seen. So if you live in a small condo or apartment, or maybe you have a separate level of your house that you need a smart vacuum in, you don't want one big expensive one, then this one is for you. Today, I'm going to tell you 5 things that you're going to want to know about this before you decide to buy it or not. Let's jump into the video. All right, the first thing that you need to know and the most exciting thing about this is its size. This thing is unbelievably small. I was quite surprised when I first got it in my hands, which by the way, they did send this out to me for a full honest review. Now, I kind of knew it was small, but I didn't know it was this small. It is literally half the size of my previous one, and the base station is probably about a quarter or maybe a third of the size of my other one. Now, obviously, this doesn't have full mopping capabilities. It does have a little bit of mopping, which I'll talk more about later, but this thing is incredibly small and it's perfect for apartment goers or condo goers, or maybe in my particular case where I have a step down level where the other vacuum could not go. So now I have this additional smaller vacuum which kind of blends right in because it's so small, and I don't have to worry about moving it when I need to clean this area, and it's just awesome. Plus, due to its size, it can get under and through furniture that no other smart vacuum could. It's about 10 inches, actually it's 9 3/4 inches, and it's about just shy of 4 inches. I think it's like 3.5 inches high. So if you have furniture that you want it to go under, you can measure to see if this thing will fit. And this thing definitely will go to places where other ones could not even dream of going. Due to its size, it has a smaller footprint, smaller roller, and if you have a bigger area to vacuum, it's going to take longer. Also has a smaller dustbin. However, I don't see that as a major issue because it can always go back to the base station and empty it. I'll talk more about that in a moment. Now, the second thing that you need to know is that I can only recommend this for vacuuming. It does have a mopping feature, however, it's pretty basic and kind of lame. It's actually just a piece of plastic that you have to pull out of the base station and slap it onto the bottom of the robot with a little like wet washcloth on it. So it's really not that great of a mop. It's just easier to either wipe it down yourself or break out the mop and get it done, because just using this is just silly in my opinion, but the option is there if you really want it. Now, moving on to the third thing that you need to know is that you can have up to 10 maps. And what that means, if you have different areas of your house where you might have to carry this to, for instance, I originally had this in the basement and then I moved it upstairs to where I had the step down. If I want to move this back down to the basement, I can still have that map. It's already mapped out, it automatically maps out the first time that you use it. Really cool. It has the LiDAR and all the features that you see in the other robots. It has all that to map out to make sure it goes where it needs to go and it can stay within your specifications, meaning that it has no-go areas, it has virtual walls, it has no mopping areas, it has all those features. So just realize that you can use this in other areas, not just that one where the base station is, but you will have to pick it up and carry it, but then you can set up a different map without any issues. And this leads into my fourth thing that you need to know, which is a couple things in the app. Obviously, most of your controls and features are going to be in the SwitchBot app, but you can also control this with smart home assistants like Alexa, Google, and Siri shortcuts. And at the time of this recording, this does not work with HomeKit or Matter, but they say it will be coming once it's available. But obviously, don't buy on a promise. My fingers are crossed, but you just never know. Now, a couple other things in the app that you need to know is a setting of when it goes back to the base to empty the dustbin on the robot itself. Obviously, the base station has a 4-liter dustbin, and you don't have to clean that or change it out that often, probably every 2 or 3 months. Obviously, it depends on how much dust and dirt you have in your house. But on the actual robot, it's a pretty small dustbin, and it's going to have to go back pretty quickly. So there's 3 settings, and one of the settings that I was quite surprised not to see is when it's full to go back. So it's more based on time, and it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. I would reduce it down to the smallest amount of time just to make sure it has room for more dust. Also, if you're only doing a small area cleaning or one room and it runs under 10 minutes, when it goes back to the base, it's not going to automatically empty the dustbin. It has to be vacuuming for at least 10 minutes to automatically clean its bin when it gets back, which I thought was very weird. But I did have one episode where it went into an area where it was more like a storage and it's never really been cleaned. I forgot to set up a no-go zone. It went back there and it kind of just blew out that little dustbin. And as you can see here, when it went back to the base station, it sucked it out with no issues whatsoever, and I was pretty impressed. And now for the fifth and final thing that you need to know is about the LiDAR and the navigation. It does like any other smart vacuum. It maps everything out with the LiDAR. It has, I think they call it slam navigation. So it's going to vacuum all in nice little lines. It's actually going to do the outside perimeter first and then do the inside nice back and forth. It really does a really nice job there. But unfortunately, when it came to obstacle avoidance, it didn't do so well. Obviously, you know, furniture and that kind of things where it knows it in a map and it's big and it's bulky. It does really well. Sometimes it kind of bumped into some things, but it's really gentle. And then other things where if you have kids and pets and you might leave things on the floor, most of the time it bumped into them. Every once in a while it would recognize it and go around it, but it still touched it and pushed it out of the way, and it will bump into things. If it's a harder thing, it's going to have the sensors that kind of push against it and it goes the other direction. But there might be times where it tries to suck up something that it shouldn't. Like you can see here, I left a wire on the floor and it eventually just stopped. So just be aware that the obstacle avoidance system is not that great in here, and that's definitely an area they could improve. But overall, except for the obstacle avoidance system, this thing is awesome. And if you're a small apartment owner or live in a condo or even a dorm, this is ideal for someone in a dorm because it's so small, but you still get the advantage of having that base station so you don't have to clean it out all the time. This thing is ideal for places like that, or maybe even in my situation where I have that area where I have to step down. I can just keep it down there and have two vacuums in my house. So perfect for that. It's not as expensive as the big vacuums, and it does a really great job. And overall, I give this a 2 thumbs up. Hope this video was helpful. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.